Right, I've prepared an introduction for today's ropey guest. So, today's guest may be the ropiest of the series so far, or maybe even the world. In taking a trip down memory lane, myself and this rock and roll star have had many delicious memories, from trips to Manchester to seeing the Monkey Man himself, and even creating our own language. Please welcome frontman and Bumder King himself, Joseph Slater, aka Slats.
Thank you. I'm nervous. My heart's beating like a heart.
Do you know when we first met?
I mean, to say that we first met is difficult because we could have met we met in school, obviously, but I think we became acquaintances because we used to walk home together.
Yeah.
We used to just chat a tremendous amount of shit on that 10-minute, 15-minute walk home.
Well, I do have a section on the interview called Boon Boon Time, which will discuss some of the many things. But we'll start with the main reason of the interview is obviously Mac the Gunner, rock and roll Geordies with a plan. The name itself, where did it come from?
Well, I actually had to ask because whenever anyone's asked me, where's the name come from, I've always just went, I don't know, it just sounds cool. It just has a bit of a punch to it. And then other times I thought it might be because Connor Mac and the Gunner, the pub.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like a dumb reason. It was in my head that it might have been that. But the actual reason, right, is because Connor used to have a YouTube channel where he did gaming, and he wanted to be a big YouTuber. You know, at the time, Syndicate, KSI, they were all getting big. They were all the boys. So Connor thought he'd take a jab at it, but he only ever did one video, and I think it's all been deleted since. So that's just a memory in his head.
And was the YouTube channel called Mac the Gunner?
Yeah, that was called the band name, yeah.
Because there was a lot of things like everyone thought it was the Mac part was Connor, who's the guitarist in one of the guitarists in Mac the Gunner, just so all the viewers know. But then obviously, we never knew about the Gunner bit.
Well, that's a pretty niche thing to know because it's right in Shields. I don't think a lot of people know Shields off the back of the hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can imagine there's people who are watch this who are from down south or whatever, or just some random person from Venezuela who comes across the video, here's the Gunner, and they go, "Oh, Shields."
That's that pub in Shields.
So the band's sound is, well, from what I've known, obviously it may have changed because you've been doing some new stuff, which I'll talk about in a bit. But I would say it's majorly influenced by 70s rock, bluesy, R&R, that sort of shit. Got the solos in there. And I've asked a few people who have kind of chose a sound which isn't necessarily of the now, and I was wondering why you decided to go for that sound rather than maybe a modern rock sound of Fontaine's DC or Catfish and the Bottlemen as examples.
Well, you're right. You were right in saying that we're changing it because we were trying to sound like all the big bands from the 70s and that, and because that's what we're listening to at the time, at the start of Sixth Form and stuff like that. That was before all started getting into drum and bass and that. But before we started broadening our horizons, all we wanted to do was be like them. We wanted to play big solos and play big heavy chords. We weren't that fussed about the actual songwriting. And yeah. I'll say, songs that we used to play, there's a couple of them that still hold dear in my heart, and I still really enjoy them for what they are. But I think we've all moved on from that now, and we've realised that it's not everyone's cup of tea. I think the 70s rock kind of vibe, or 70s, 80s, you know. It's sort of like past its due date.
Well, in regards to that, I'll just quickly talk about this. So talk about the new shit because obviously I really want to know what it's all about and stuff. There's a band, Greta Van Fleet, which you might have heard of, who have recently been basically like doing amazing, selling out like pretty big venues and stuff. And I was wondering, do you think there's a resurgence in the interest of kind of 70s rock, or do you think it's sort of like there's just this one-off case where they've kind of leapt at it and just kind of let this band elevate, if that makes sense?
Well, I think it's. I mean, they're. I love them. I listen to them quite a lot. I think what people picked up on at first was the fact that the lead singer sounds pretty identical to Robert Plant, and that's not saying that he doesn't have. I think recently he's found more of his own voice, but like when you listen to some of that early stuff, and on YouTube, they've got covers of Led Zeppelin. It just sounds the same, and that's what people I think drew people into it at first, because it was like, whoa, you know what I mean? Especially like in America, where all the dads are like, whoa, look at these youngins doing this. Well, they wouldn't have said that. They would have went, Rodney, when you look at this, these young fellas are bringing back rock and roll. So yeah.
Because I think pretty good, and they're obviously very Led Zeppelin-y. But they do seem to just be like this one sort of band where, as you're saying, old 50-year-olds are going, oh, I love this, I'll just drink me a pint of bitter or whatever. Or, oh, I remember the good old days when I was young. So I'll talk about, because you've obviously briefly mentioned about the change in sound. And I was just saying, is there anything you can kind of give us in why you changed the sound and what it's a bit like, and just a few of the ins and outs?
Well, like the old sound was like really heavily influenced by like Guns N' Roses and Led Zeppelin and all that kind of shit, and we wanted to like. I still love them, but I think we need a more palatable taste for like audiences nowadays, because like you don't like. There's not any new rock bands. There's only like the old ones that go on tour again to make a bit of money.
Yeah, but you mentioned about like the drum and bass sort of thing, and how you've basically got into that more. Has that played any influence on the music at all? Or
No, not the music we play. I just like it. I just like that kind of. I like dance music. I like hip hop. I like rock. I like folk. No, I just I don't know. I personally play a lot funkier stuff and a lot more like upbeat. Like I don't know. We're still, truth be told, we're still trying to figure out exactly what we want to play. But the only way we can figure that out is by playing. And obviously, we haven't had a lot of luck with playing any gigs since the start of this year.
Yeah, I'll talk about that in a bit. But I wanted to talk about, obviously, I've known you as the drummer and singer of Matt the Gunner, but there's obviously been a sudden change where you've moved from drumming and singing to just singing and obviously being a front man. And I was thinking, did you want to make that move because you just wanted to be a front man, or was it anything to do with managing singing and drumming? Because I can imagine singing and drumming, like, you can obviously do it, but I imagine it's like really quite hard.
It was, I mean, what I got used to the songs we played, and I could do them well enough to play live. But like playing the drums, I've never been a drummer. Like I only played the drums in the band, so we could actually be a band, because I could talk about that later actually, but there was times before when we had other stuff, until we got to the point where it was me on the drums and singing, and then Connor and Gabe on guitar, and Peter on the bass, and that's how it was for so long. We got used to it, but the reason that I mean, I've never been fussed about being in the limelight, but the reason that we wanted to make the change for a long time now is because ever since we played that gig at Chris's house, ever since we played that charity gig, which was dreadful, ever since the first ever gig at Surf Caf, the first ever headline, sorry, people have always said or mentioned that there's no real focus. There's nothing to look at because the guy who's singing, usually the type who's out in front doing stuff, is at the back, and he's not. I'm sat down the whole time playing drums. I can't there's no interaction, and I think it was like a big disconnect from the audience when we played. And I'm not saying I'm fucking top entertaining man, but I feel like I can do better when I've got a bit of space to move than sat at the back on the drums.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I mean, for a long time, like, obviously when you drummed and you were singing, and stop pouting, you prick. When you were drumming and singing, like, you could do it, but I've always been, well, I mean, me and, like, Tom, and pretty much everyone who probably knows you, probably has always been under the impression that we think you are, like, a definite front man. I've always thought that, and it's because of the many ropey times that we've had, and just the way we've talked. I think this cunt would be good in front of a fucking mic, in front of the audience. You've moved from drumming and singing to just singing, and you've recently added Callum Dyer to the MTG lineup. And I was wondering, is this going to be a permanent role, or is he just kind of doing it at the moment to kind of sort of fill in?
I hope it's a permanent role. I mean, the thing is, he's always been Mayfair's drummer, and I know he still does other things with other people. I don't care if he could play for 50 bands, all I care. But I like him because he's got a lot to bring to the table in terms of experience. Because when we were gigging, Mayfair were already like miles above us in terms of what they know what they're doing. They know how the whole setup works. We just showed up and we're like, I guess we'll play some music.
Yeah,
but like,
I know what you mean.
I hope it is. He's an excellent drummer. He's better than me, and he's got. I mean, I'm not just licking his arse because this is recorded. He's got good crack. I think he fits in well, to be honest, and I hope Mayfair never get back together. I hope they all just. No, I couldn't say that. I was just joshing. I was just joshing too hard.
In terms of say, for example, if he stays in, try not to dribble. Whether he stays in or whether you get someone else in, do you think that whoever ends up in the role, him or whoever might get it, would they always feel like someone who's kind of filling a role, or do you think you would feel like they're a part of the band in the sense of there's obviously you, Peter, Gabe, and Connor, and then there'd be a drummer. Would you view it as they're doing kind of a job, or would you just try and kind of embrace them, if that makes sense?
I mean, that's not the case with Callum. That's not the case with Callum. I've totally embraced him. I love him a bit. I think he is part of the band. But in the future, like if he decided I don't want to do it anymore, in the future, if we ever got a session drummer in, I wouldn't immediately make the disconnect that they're not part of the band.
Yeah.
If they want it to be, and they're a good drummer, I'm open for it. But I'm not really. Truth be told, I've not really been thinking about anything like that because I think pretty comfortable with Big Daddy.
Well, no, I think that's obviously that is healthy, and like you should, because when you have someone, especially like you knew Callum before he was drumming with you, and you got on with them, and you got on with like all of Mayfair and stuff. So it's sort of like, because there's that history, it kind of means it can sort of work more. When you were talking about being a frontman, briefly I'll talk about this, is you're saying that you didn't necessarily want to be kind of in the limelight. What was kind of the reasoning behind that?
I mean, I'm talking about a while ago now, but it was like, even when we just started, we were writing Balls to the Walls and Rumble. Like, I was never one to be like, I'll sing, like, I'll do it, because, I mean, I still don't think that I've got an amazing voice, and I know it's hard for someone to admit that they've got a good voice because it just comes across as a bit arrogant, but I know for a fact, like, when I'm singing in the car, I'm like, what the fuck was that? Like, I'm trying to hit these notes and I just can't do it. But what was it now? Entering the Mind Palace. The door's locked. I'm sorry. I cannot remember what I was saying.
No, that's sound. Because I know what you mean about the sort of, when you say what's like, I sing to myself, and like I feel like whenever you do it and you're singing either some music you're listening to, just like trying to go along with it, I always think it's sort of like, you shouldn't necessarily judge yourself when you're trying to sing like, I don't know, something by Muse, for example, because like you can't, no one can really sing like that, nor like,
no one's Matt Bellamy except Matt Bellamy.
Yeah, but
that's a weird word to say. Fat, a weird name to say. Fat. Matt Bellamy. Jeez. Bet you he's fun on Christmas.
But with like, even like some like of the kind of traditional rock singers, like, for example, like Brian Johnson, for example, like, no one can really sing. I actually saw a good tribute and he managed to do it, and I was impressed by it, and he sounded pretty much identical to him. But still, I feel like singing that's sort of hard.
I think singing is a strange thing because a lot of like genuinely iconic voices, not a lot of people can pull it off.
Yeah.
And I think like Freddie Mercury, I know I've heard a lot of like people trying to sound like him, but they just can't. And it's not because he was a good singer, but it's not like he's like, I can't explain it. I've only heard a couple of good like renditions of what he sings that sound like him, because I think no one's got the same vocal cords. So that's why when I do sing for the band, I don't try like overcomplicate it, because I know that my voice can't do that. So if there's like a bit in a song where it goes just a little bit too high, I might just drop it back down because I can handle that a bit better.
No, I think that's a fair thing to say. Moving on from Matt the Gunner, we reach Boon Boon time, the best round of this interview. Stop pretending to like you're frozen. I can tell you're not. You fucking booner. So can you please enlighten the viewers of the great tale of Hot Milk?
Let's do this. 1 sec. I'll take my hat off. Take my hat off for this part because I'm being genuine now. Right. Boon Boon time. What Hot Milk is? Hot Milk. Hot Milk was one time we went to town on a shopping trip or something. We were looking for some cool indie type clothes that we could wear and impress everyone with. Went to retro, you know, that kind of jazz. And we ended up going into this cafe. It was like evening time, and we were all a bit tired, I think. So we were all a bit giggly. And I looked up onto the drinks board, and it said coffee, tea, and hot milk. And it's not really that funny when you think about it like that. stop laughing at the fact that hot milk is a drink, and we ended up. There was a lot of hot milk, yeah, hot milk. A lot of that being spewed, but yeah, I thought, well, to the best of my memory, I can remember.
Because I remember I bought some hot milk when we were in that cafe, and you started
With a biscuit.
Yeah. And then you started doing the hot milk, and I was like laughing, but it was really full, so I was just like, I was shaking. I think I got some on my hand. It just scalded us, and I was like, this hurts so much. But that was
hot milk.
Yeah, that's the story of hot milk. I hope all the viewers enjoy that story.
They call me hot milk because I'm milky white and I'm pretty hot.
Obviously, in Matt the Gunner, there's Gabe Dempsey, but prior to Matt the Gunner, he had it seemed like a solo Grind Dempsey career. And I was just
You see him prior. It's ongoing. It's an ongoing persona. That's the word.
But I was just wondering if you could walk us through what Grind Dempsey is. How did it start?
I mean, I know we can't, but it would probably be better asking Gabe that. But to the best of my ability, GarageBand on his phone, bonk donk donk. That's a funny tune. That's a pretty decent tune. Bump 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 on SoundCloud. And over time, still he does things now, and it impresses us more and more every time he shows us a new tune. I'm like, fuck hell, how do you make that? But he's very good on Fruit Loops. That's all I'm going to say. He's very good on Fruit Loops. And if you guys listening want to check it out, SoundCloud.com/, don't know what the URL is, but just look up Grime Dempsey and you should find some songs like Crepes, Up, Nads. I think that one's private now, actually.
A lot of the earlier stuff's private, I've noticed, because I remember there was one time where I was searching, I was like Indiana Jones looking for the treasure, the lost treasure, and I went looking for it, and I think there's only one song from Grind Dempsey on Das Scene, which is obviously a classic of our generation.
On the scene.
And then me, you, and Gabe for a brief period. Well, I mean, I don't necessarily think I was even involved in it. I was just kind of spectating.
Me, you, and Gabe. Well, actually, not me.
Well, I walked home with you at the time when it was all going on. But it's the band 43. I was wondering if you could now talk about that, please.
43 was sort of a nihilistic sort of pseudo Mac the Gunner, really. No, what it was just, you know, we didn't have like iPhone 10s like we used to now. It was like we just had our own crack, and we found it a bit boring just talking about school, so we ended up trying to make songs. And we made songs pretty much every day walking home. There's songs like Discreet Angels, the most popular boy in the year.
That was the other one. I couldn't think of that one. I've got Red Car.
Inspired by a young man who I don't know the name of, but we were in Tesco's and we were just carrying on. We were just being young bucks, and we were just messing on like idiots. Not like cool, but we were like, oh, like giggling to ourselves. And this guy in the year below, mind you, walked past him and went, huh, bet you're all the most popular boys in your year. And instead of getting hurt, we absolutely died laughing and made a song. Now, would you like me to sing you a little portion of it if I can remember it?
Yes, please.
Okay. In the zone. We're the most popular boys in our year. We're the most popular boys. It's all went like that. The songs were very repetitive, mind you. Like, there wasn't like keyboards, there wasn't breakdowns. It was just like a couple of phrases repeated most of the times. Like, discreet angels, creeping in your room at night, turning off all of your lights. Angels, discreet angels.
Oh, that's quality. Because then there was obviously Red Car, which was the one I remembered quite vividly.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think you had a bit of input on that one, like Red Car. I can't remember what it goes like.
Was that 43 featuring Aidan Robson for one?
There was 43 featuring the guitarist from Everything After Midnight and Jack, but we didn't even know it then.
That's a bit ropey. That's like late night thoughts. Do you do that when you're like, it's like 1:30 or whatever, and you just lie there and you just start thinking the most like generic ropey things like space is so big. Oh, well, you probably don't. You think like, I don't know.
I mean, I think that like during the daytime, really. I don't have a lot of time at night when I'm sleeping to think of that sort of thing. I'm not allowed to stay up late anymore.
No, you're not. Because you're a working man.
I'm a working man. I'm a big on the building sites. Oh yeah, have you got your PPE on? Yeah, I got my PPE on, motherfucker.
Moving away from Boon Boon Time, a great segment. On Instagram, you posted about 2020 plans basically being fucked by World War III and coronavirus. Now, excluding World War III because it didn't really happen. I was just thinking, what's the impact been like on your band regarding gigs and stuff that you had planned?
I've got to say it's been quite negative. I mean, in January and February we're practicing twice a week, and we were pretty tight actually by that point. But we weren't like, I wouldn't say we were like ready to gig, but we weren't ready to gig. But I was pretty confident. Coronavirus hit hard. We haven't the first 2 months in lockdown. I was off work, so I was just sitting writing on the edge of my bed there, just sitting the whole time, thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna send this." And then after those 2 months, we're sort of like getting down to it. It sort of like ended.
Yeah.
Because I really got invested in Call of Duty, and that didn't really favour the songwriting time. But at the minute, we're like sort of getting back into it, because obviously the place that we practiced, that's been shut for a long time now, and I'm not sure if it's open yet. But we'll be getting back into it very soon. But pretty much, it's fucked up with, yeah. We were planning on doing quite a lot of gigs as well. We wanted to go to Manchester. Wanted to go to like Liverpool. I wanted to go to London, but it's just been a bit fucking disastrous, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. Because it has hit like artists like us and the music industry like a lot, and it's still like, it's not as if everything's kind of improving in terms of the music industry. Did you have any like gigs like that you had like planned? Like, obviously you don't have to say, but did you have gigs like kind of in the pipeline which have just been like shafted?
We didn't have anything booked, but we were gonna book one in March at Little Buildings, I believe. But since it's been obviously not able to happen, I think we decided to hold off from booking my own headline just now, because, being honest, we don't really have that much of a following at the minute, and especially we haven't done in over a year. I reckon more. So we just need to start from the ground up again, I think, and just it's really a whole new band, sort of. Like we just need a new start, and we need to like just do it right this time, I think.
No, I think like it's fair. Like you've been away that long and you've been trying different things, and you know it's better to kind of start again and act as if you're kind of coming back onto the scene again than to just try and kind of go back to the set, like however many gigs you did and try it all every week played, especially if you've changed your sound or like things have obviously changed since then, as you've obviously spoken.
I mean, we had plans and that, but to be honest, the whole like lockdown sort of thing it's allowed us to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Yeah, you see, this was the little picture that we've seen before. Because we step back like this, it speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Fucking bastard. Right then, we'll come to the final.
Right then, see you later.
We'll come to the final round, the final boss battle, and it's a quick fire round. I'm going to throw some quick questions at you. You've got to give immediate answers, otherwise you die. Firstly, what's your favourite biscuit?
Chocolate hobnobs.
That's a good biscuit. That's a quality.
You can dip it for a long time, and it rarely falls apart. A digestive of a rich tea, you dip that for 3 seconds. Oh, where's it gone? Oh, only got this much left. Got the whole thing.
No, I think hobnobs. They're one that actually haven't been mentioned that much by people. People have basically went for like custard creams, ginger nuts,
boring,
Oreos.
Oreos are alright, but the rest of them are boring.
See, I think Oreos are alright, but Oreos are just a bit like custard creams. But
Oreos are someone that thinks no one knows them because they're that like alternative, but everyone knows them.
Moving on to the next question: Maccas or Mackies?
Maccas.
I knew you were going to say that, but I've said it so that you can explain why Maccas over Mackies.
Just Maccas. Just gonna go to Maccas. Mackies. Oh, do you want to go to Mackies? You want to get a hamburger from Mackies? Oh no, we go to Mackies and get some large fries and a milkshake. No, you go to Macca's, get a quarter pounder, get Macca's Flaz, which is a McFlurry for you uninitiated freaks, and just enjoy the show.
Thanks. Thanks for simulating how you eat a McDonald's.
With the clacking noises, that was realistic.
Fuck's sake. The next question is sausage roll or sausage sandwich? Oh, sorry, saucisson or saucisson?
I mean, I'm gonna have to go for a saucisson because it's just iconic. But depends where you get it from. Dixon's do an unreal sausage sandwich. But there's something. I mean, to be honest, I've converted to a vegan sausage roll.
Yeah. No,
because it's tasty. Roll, yeah. It's tasty. People are like, hey, what's the point in getting a sausage roll if you're not gonna get a sausage? But it's nice. Trust me, it's nice. If you've not had one yet, go to Greg's, buy one. You're welcome, Greg's.
I totally agree with you. Vegan sausage rolls are unreal. Really sick. Yeah. Next question: Five Nights at Freddy's 1 or Five Nights at Freddy's 2?
First one.
Why?
Just because, I mean, and I just remember the first one being absolutely fucking terrifying when we used to play it in the dark in my back room with a little laptop more gathered around. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming. Shut the door, shut the door. There's no one there. That's why it's iconic. I never really played the second one.
I've still got them both. On my, I've got them. I re-downloaded them on my laptop. And to be fair, I've genuinely forgotten how like fucking scary it is, because it actually is.
People like laugh at it because now it's like when you think of it, you think of them like songs, and you think of like all the like kids that were like shit like that. But like it is genuinely. I mean, when it came out, the only thing it was like Slender, but the difference was you were like sat, you couldn't move, and you were just waiting for these things to come get you, and it was genuinely terrifying. It was one of the scariest games I've ever played. I don't really play a lot of scary games, so yeah, you seen that arm? Seen how dirty it looks? Glue that.
No, it's Freddy Fazbear. He's gonna come and kill you.
He's left us. Am I one of the marked ones?
Put on the light. Put on the light. He's gonna get us. Shut the door, Joseph. Shut the door. Don't tell me what to do.
Listen.
That was dialogue from when we were playing.
I'll put this block nose Sudafed thing up Freddy Fazbear's nose, and he'll be sneezing. He'll be sneezing all night, and I'll be able to hear him a mile off, so it'll be sound.
The final question is: describe Mac the Gunner in one word.
One word. Music. No. Sound. No, wait. Instruments. Wait. New.
Why new?
Have you ever played Super Mario Brothers?
Yeah.
Have you ever played New Super Mario Brothers?
Yeah.
Now, tell me this, Aiden. When you played New Super Mario Brothers on your DS back in the day, you had a lot of fun, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
There's the answer.
You used to play New Super Mario Bros. On your DS with your gravy fingers.
Oh, come on. I knew you know what it is. As soon as I said DS, I'm like, I've dropped myself in it here. That was one time.
And that one time was come back to haunt you. I didn't even know you then, and I knew all about it.
I was one time in primary school, and I was desperate to play Phantom Hourglass. Phantom Hourglass was class.
Is that it? Just sound like you're in a demon.
I got distracted by me arm, to be honest. Trying to get all this glue off. I did shower. Wash off with just like soap.
I trust that you had a shower of sorts. We've reached the end, and I believe you.
I did?
What? So I'm just checking time. We've reached the end of the interview. This was as ropey as I expected it to be. Don't be so sad. I'll bring you back on sometime for 5 Nights at Freddy's playthrough.
Hold on a minute, Aiden.
What?
Because I've got a question for you.
You've got a question for me? Go on then.
Yeah. At the minute, name 5 bands that you're listening to at the minute that you would, or I'll do one better. 5 different songs from 5 different bands. They don't have to be local, don't have to be new. Just 5 different songs from 5 different bands or artists
that I'm listening to.
Yeah.
Oh Such a Spring by Fontaines DC. Rain When I Die by Alice in Chains. Deep in My Head by Plaza. Spanish Love Song by Pavilion. Once by Liam Gallagher. and Grounds by Idols. Is that 5? Yeah.
I don't know. I think that was 6, but I'll let you off. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap things up here. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment. Does my hair look okay?
Right, because you did the outro. Wave to everyone. Did the outro for us. Wave. Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Bye. Is the credits coming up here?
Yeah, the credits are coming up.